No sleep.
That's my life.
That is.
Well,
That is indeed your life. But what about for one Kaname Date?
he's also not getting any sleep.
Honk Shua. Sleep on that thing.
How dare you?
Anyways, hello, welcome to this week's episode of Season 11 Checkup OVA. It's a podcast where we have conversations about video games, anime, and manga. Hello, I'm Jared, joined as always by Doc Allen, Ladium. This
Hello.
is episode number 451, and we're going to discuss No Sleep for Kaname Date from the Somnium Files.
Mm-hmm.
This is the new Somnium game. It is a kind of spin-off-y
Spinoff?
game that
One
takes
and a half?
yeah, it takes place in between the first and the second games. Much shorter game than the other two as well.
And quite a bit shorter, yes.
And not a whole lot of like weird diverging paths or anything like that. Like it is a very straightforward game as well. So
Mm-hmm,
if
mm-hmm.
you're looking for whatchamacallit, flowchart scenario shenanigans, not happening here.
Nope, not happening.
It's just you're going from one place to the other, which is fine. I mean, this is not a full price game or anything as well.
Mm-hmm.
And the main thing that was about this game was that like Uchikoshi wasn't directing and writing it, so
Mm-hmm.
uh,
He was producing it?
he acted as the series director and scenario supervisor,
Okay, so basically he was like, hey, don't up the stuff that I
just like
started, and that's
overlooking
about it.
everything. Yeah, which like
Yeah.
I think the game is fine in terms of that. Like nothing feels super out of place. I feel like the only thing is that like it doesn't get super weird in terms of like pseudoscience bullshit that a lot of
Nope,
Uchikoshi stuff gets into.
it doesn't.
So like that stuff's not really in this at all, but
I only had a few moments where they're like, hey, have you heard about this thing? Let
yeah.
me talk to you about this. But then it didn't actually become anything really relevant
Yeah.
like it does in every other Ujikoshi
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, it's an interesting thing.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit of a weird thing as well.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. This came out on July the 25th of 2025 for the Switches and the PC.
Mm-hmm.
That's
I
it.
played it on, well, I played it on my Nintendo Switch too, but I played it on the Switch
You
version.
played the Switch 1 version.
Yes,
Yeah,
and
I
that's what
also
you
played the
played?
Switch 1 version on the Switch 1.
Mm-hmm.
So, some interesting things with that.
It was very blurry.
Yeah. I also had an instance where, because I was just like, I would play it, save, and then like just put it in rest mode.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I got to one of the later Somniums, and like, as soon as I loaded in, like, the frame rate was just awful.
Oh
For
no.
some reason, like when I loaded back in, it was like stuttery and like all that sort of stuff. But when like I like closed the game and like just rebooted it, everything was fine afterwards. So like that was just a weird instance, I
Huh.
think, of just like being on rest mode for a long time, I guess. But yeah, that was
Mm-hmm.
a funky little thing. But yeah, it doesn't look great on the Switch one. I'm assuming the PC and Switch 2 versions are probably fine in
Probably.
terms of all that. But yeah,
It was
that's
just
the
very
version
blurry.
we played. But yeah, let's talk a little bit about development of this here game.
Before we talk about that, can I tell you that like when I first booted it up, I was like, "Oh, I need to clean my glasses." And then I cleaned my glasses. Like I went and sprayed them, cleaned them, and then I came back, I was like, "Oh, oh, it just looks like that."
Oh, it's not my eyes for once.
All right, development, let's go.
Like we said, Uchikoshi wasn't in charge of this one. This game was written and directed by Kazuya Yamada, who was a designer on the previous two Somnium games. And then also character designer Yusuke Kozaki and composer Keisuke Ito were also back from the previous two games as well. The game was developed by Spike Chunsoft as a smaller experimental spin-off set chronologically between the original and sequel. The project aimed to explore fresh gameplay elements and offer a lighter narrative tone compared to the darker themes of the mainline titles. And I guess also I would say it does kind of discuss some plot elements that were not necessarily fully realized between the first and second games. Kind of like here's exactly what happened in this one specific scenario.
Hmm.
And now we can kind of talk about that and show exactly what happened as compared to in the second game where it's just like, oh, this just happened, I guess. um,
Are we talking about related to
Pewter.
Pewter? Yes.
Yes.
Okay, just double checking that that's what we were talking about.
Yes. In a detailed interview featured in Nintendo Live, Spike Jonze's soft development team described the production process as hell, reflecting the considerable challenges involved. The team struggled to strike a balance between innovating the gameplay and maintaining the series' narrative depth and character focus that fans cherish. This was complicated by the goal to create a tighter, more concise story that was still delivered emotional weight and intrigue. A key innovation was the introduction of escape room-style puzzles, a new gameplay mechanic designed to complement and diversify the existing Somnium investigation sequences. This is very funny to describe it like that.
That is very funny.
The developers explained that these escape segments were crafted to offer a different type of challenge, focusing on logical deduction and environmental interaction rather than timed cerebral Somnium puzzles. The team expressed satisfaction with this addition, believing it enriched the gameplay variety and player engagement. From a narrative perspective, the developers deliberately shifted the tone towards a more comedic and sometimes absurd atmosphere. The tonal change was a purposeful attempt to expand the emotional palette of the franchise, contrasting with the intense, often dark mysteries of the previous games. Kaname Date's character is explored through this lens, allowing players to experience a more relaxed and humorous side of the protagonist, which the developers felt added depth and freshness to his portrayal.
To be fair, he's always been kind of a goofy little dude.
Yeah.
So.
It's just he's not like doing this with the backdrop of like murders happening in this game.
Yeah, it's not grim dark with people being murdered and their eyeballs being removed and stuff.
Spike Chunsoft emphasized accessibility in their design philosophy for No Sleep for Kaname Date. The game was crafted to be approachable for newcomers with a largely self-contained storyline that does not require deep familiarity with the previous games. At the same time, returning players are rewarded with subtle references and connections that enrich the broader narrative tapestry of the series. Like, there are multiple times when like you'll get like the little scrolly bit on top of the screen where like Aiba will like do like a little deep dive into something, and basically there are a few times where like she'll be like, yeah, this is the thing in the other game, but we're not gonna go into that right now. If you want to know, you can go play that. But yeah, it's something. It happened. You can do some research if you want to figure it out, but we're not gonna dive into it right now. Which is funny.
I feel like Pewter is kind of something that like would be confusing if you'd not played them though.
Sure.
But that also does give some good backstory to Pewter too, so.
Yeah, I think it does enough to basically kind of describe like, okay, here's why he's in this predicament without super spoilering the events of the first game.
Right.
Despite its smaller scale and lighter tone, the development team invested heavily in ensuring the story maintained its mystery and emotional resonance. The interview highlights the team's passion and commitment to quality as they push the boundaries of what a side story in the Eye of the Somnium Files universe could be. So there you go. On the Metacritic, it has a 79 out of 100 for both versions. There you go.
How's it compared to the other ones?
Let's see. The Somnium Files had an 86 out of 100 for the Switch version and a 78 for the PS4 version. And then Nirvana Initiative had an 88 for PC, 85 for Switch, 85 for PS4, and 84 for Xbox One.
Okay, so this is a little bit lower, but not too bad.
Which, again, I would kind of expect.
Yeah, I mean,
for
I
a
would
spin-off side game.
I would agree with that. That it's not quite at the level of the other two.
No. Yeah, so they just made a new Zero Escape game.
Yeah, they did. They're like, hey, you like Zero Escape? Would you like a Eye of the Somnium Files skin for Zero Escape?
I don't know why I don't remember if either of us put two and two together when we were talking about when it was announced earlier this year, and they talked about like escape rooms being a thing in it, of like, what if they just do it in the Zero Escape style? And that's basically all they did. It's just like immediately as soon as you get into the first escape room, it like, it gives you like the overview.
Seek a way out.
Yeah, it does the seek way out thing. I was like, oh, I see what we're doing here. And then like all the sound effects are the exact same. Like the way you do puzzles and the escape room stuff is exactly how you would do it in a Zero Escape game, except you are in third person instead of first person.
Yep.
It's just new Zero Escape puzzles in just a different series, essentially.
Which I'm fine with. I
Yeah,
had a lot of
totally.
fun with the escape rooms in this
Hmm.
one. Actually, I feel like the escape rooms are a lot stronger than the Somnium events in this one.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And I think it's interesting as well. Like they do some fun things with the escape rooms where like you are switching between characters at certain points, and it will
Hmm.
be because like these characters are at different locations, so you'll have to like do something with one character and then swap to the other character, and then they'll do something, and you can like either like it'll help the person in the other room or something, or you can like pass information or items back and forth between characters and all that sort of stuff. It makes it just a little bit more overarching in terms of how these puzzles are compared to just like it just being one person doing the things essentially.
Hmm.
It's kind of similar to how some of the puzzles in Zero Escape would be, where like you would be paired with other characters and like, oh, there's other characters in this room now, and we're gonna swap back and forth between their POVs or something of that nature, or like you're gonna be like giving items back and forth between different people in a different room or something of that nature. But it's more fleshed out in this, I would say, compared to like a Virtue's Last Reward or a Zero Time Dilemma type deal.
Hmm.
But yeah, the escape rooms are fun. It's a
Yeah, they're a
shame there
lot
was
of
only like
fun.
3 of them.
Yeah.
I would have liked there to have been like one more
Yeah.
to even things out, but that's just me being nitpicky.
I really liked the one with the elevator.
Yeah, that was fun.
That one was one of my favorite. That probably is my favorite.
It's the most in
Um,
depth they go with like the escape room stuff, because at that point you're controlling 3 characters at once,
mhm.
so it gets a little bit even more topsy turvy in terms of how you got to do things. So,
But also the dynamics of the characters you're controlling, or it's really, really fun.
hmm,
Um, because you can troll pretty hard, but also like I don't know, I just find it amusing.
yes,
I thought that the puzzles in that one were very clever, though. I enjoyed it quite a lot.
yeah. I think that one was probably the one that like is the most, maybe I would say, not say maybe necessarily difficult, but is the most like involved you have to be with in terms of all the stuff you do with the puzzles and all that sort of stuff.
Hmm. Yeah,
The Somniums I thought were okay.
I didn't feel like they were as strong as they normally
Yeah,
are.
they're just like they were fine. Nothing about them really stood out that much, but I think it was also because like there was like for a lot of them there was kind of like a central theme, and like there was kind of like you
Hmm.
were returning to a specific location over and over again.
Yeah.
Um, which kind of didn't help, because a lot of times I felt like with the other games, the Somniums were like very diverse in terms of like where you were going and what you were doing and all that sort of stuff.
Hmm.
But again, I think that's just a byproduct of this being more of a budget game where
Yeah.
you're kind of just going to be reusing a lot of assets and all that sort of stuff. Um, and then I think the story itself is again fine.
It's
Um,
fine.
it was fun getting to hang out with these characters again, especially getting to
Yes.
hang out with Date, because obviously in Nirvana Initiative he's not a protagonist in that, so we
Hmm.
don't really get to see a whole lot of him in that game, but we get to see obviously more of him in this, and he's just being his weird little goober self.
Yep.
Get to have the fun little relationship between him and Aiba still.
Hmm.
It was fun to
You also
see.
get to see him as with Ryuki as like
Yeah,
a rookie.
yeah, it was fun to see Ryuki in this game where he was like actually being competent.
But also again, a rookie. Like this
Yeah.
is when he like is a baby
Hmm.
guy.
And like he looks
Um
to Date as like a mentor, and Date's just like,
uh,
Also,
but yeah, that was very different.
and then also you get to see Date and some of like the other characters that show up from Nirvana Initiative as well, like
Mhm.
Gen and Leon as the Porno Mag buddies,
The Porno
which
Pals.
is so funny.
I love that it compared it to the Peach Garden.
uh,
Man, that was really, really good. I enjoyed the but then you had like the cute little nod. I say cute, but it was a nod to like, oh, I got a new job. I'm a
yeah, yeah, yeah.
janitor. It was like, oh hey, I know what's gonna happen
He's
there.
like, I'm a janitor at this like research place, and the guy there's real weird. He's like, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah, he's real weird.
uh-huh.
Or like in when you select the freezer and examine it.
Mm-hmm. Again,
Um,
I think that's a really fun little nod to the events of Nirvana Initiative, but also
totally is.
is a really easy throwaway thing that if you had not played that
Yes.
game, you would just be like, oh, that's a funny little goof. Ha ha.
Haha. Yeah, I did appreciate that we got the new characters that we had from Nirvana Initiative that we got to hang out with them because
Mm-hmm.
they're all really good and like it also like makes it believable, I guess, that like when we played through Nirvana Initiative, they're all like, "Oh yeah, we know each other, we're friends." Blah 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 blah.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, well, yes, of course they're friends. They're porno mag pals. Duh.
um, you can see like Mizuki running Limnaskate more so
Yes,
in this, which is interesting as well.
because she's like 10.
Yeah, just trying to run a business.
Live up to the legacy of her dad.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I guess here's some.
And then Aset's in a weird outfit the whole
She's in a
time.
very weird outfit the whole time. That is true.
Mm-hmm.
Abducted by
Spoilers?
aliens.
Is that what you were about to say?
Yeah, let's dive into some spoilers here about the story itself.
Okay.
Like we mentioned earlier, like the first half of this kind of deals with like Boss trying to get Pewter's crimes that he committed in the first game erased essentially so he can come back to Abyss to work.
Yeah.
So like the first couple of Somniums you go through are dealing with Pewter and everything, and like you kind of like get through like his relationship with Mizuki's dad and all that sort of stuff, and like what led him to doing the stuff he does in Somnium 1 and all that.
hmm
Um,
Which I thought that was really good. Like it was nice to see more of like their relationship and their
mhm.
dynamic and like the bit with the watches was really nice.
And just a good way to like bridge the gap between this or like the first game in Nirvana Initiative where he just like is just back and you're just like, okay,
Yeah, why
weird.
are you here? You literally did crimes.
But now we get to see exactly like how this all comes about and everything.
And also Datsu's just like, this is kind of shady.
Yep.
Do I work for a shady organization? And it was
Yes.
like, yes, you do.
You certainly do.
You're also shady. You just don't know it.
Mm-hmm.
But we
Uh,
also get a new character.
we do get a new character, which again is like interesting because you feel like, okay, this is a new character that hasn't been in any of the other games.
Yep.
What exactly is going to be going on with you? But yeah, we meet Hina, who's like another Abyss engineer. She like worked under Pewter and everything.
Looks up to
Looks
him.
up to him.
Dresses like him.
Yes. And basically you learn that she is the catalyst for these escape room games that are happening in the real world that Iris and the other two are mixed up with. That I'm blanking on their names.
Ota?
Ota and then Yakuza feller.
It starts with an M. Right?
Yee. MoMA.
MoMA.
Yeah, those two get wrapped up in this escape room game with Iris. And she's been allegedly kidnapped by an alien named Akemi,
Mm-hmm.
who's got the
Who's
third
a lizard.
eye. Open your third eye. But then you eventually learn that like Akemi is just an AI that Hina had built because like her friend had gotten
Assaulted?
assaulted and basically put into a coma. So she made this AI version of her friend so that she could talk to her while the other one was in a coma. And now like so many years have passed since then that like the AI is gonna like become its own thing and has now kind of gone rampant. And has started doing these escape room games and everything and started making them and got into contact with Mizuki to make them because Mizuki's whole plan was to use these to help Iris gain more recognition as Aset and everything.
Mm-hmm. It was her dad's idea, and she
Yeah.
was trying to live it out.
And then everything kind of goes haywire.
Yep. Um, Am I wrong that Hina's model is just an adjusted version of Mizuki's model?
I don't know.
Her face looks very similar, but she smiles a lot more, so
It could be.
it just looks very similar.
I don't know. I didn't really think of that, but you could be right.
I liked her a lot. I thought she was fun.
Yeah, it was an interesting character. It was one of those things like once you're playing through the game, like you get like halfway through, you're kind of just like, she's going to be involved in like with like the antagonist of this game in some way,
Yeah.
shape, or form because
Yes.
obviously she doesn't show up in the other games. So what's the thing here that writes her off so that she's not present in those other games?
Right. Also, I had a feeling she was involved because very early on, you know how you have the like entries, like and you can go look at the like little files and things.
Right.
There was one that said mastermind and it had her picture on it. And I'm like, why would you put
Interesting.
her picture? Which, I mean, I guess she's technically the mastermind, but only because she created the AI.
Yeah.
But I saw that, I was like, okay, it's you. So the whole time I suspected that she was behind it somehow
Hmm.
because very early on, basically when you first meet her, you get that entry and it said mastermind. I was like, hmm, just no way they would put that like front and center.
Right.
Right, right, right. And then I was like gaslighting myself, but no, I totally realized I'm like she's got to be involved somehow because she's not in Nirvana Initiative.
Right. Um, I thought all that stuff was fine.
Mhm.
It was interesting that we have another game in 2025 that's just basically it's like his AI stuff seems kind of bad.
Yeah,
Maybe we should
yeah.
rethink this.
I mean, I think that what's good about this is that essentially it's like AI definitely needs checks,
Yes.
which is what this one did not have.
No.
And like the whole idea of like AI replicating like an actual human, the ethics of that are called into question in this game.
Hmm.
So, yeah, 2025, everybody's talking about it.
Yeah, they sure are.
I prefer my eyeball AIs. There we go.
They've got some
Aiba.
checks.
They do have checks. I mean, for one, they're driven by a person. Driven? My words are not working today.
This is what happens when you get sleep.
Apparently. Meow, yeah.
You get sleep and your brain just falls out.
It's like, what do you mean we were well rested? That's why I gotta be no sleeps, like Date. Wait, that's actually a terrible idea. But yeah, there are people that are working with the AI instead of, you know, it just being its own thing and running rampant.
That do be true.
Yup.
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 Yup. But yeah, again, like I think if you're going to come into this game and looking for like just the big bombastic, weird, over the top stories that are in the first and second game, like that's just not really here.
No, I was waiting for it and it didn't happen.
No. But again, with how this is basically placed as a spin-off game, it makes sense
Yeah.
why that wouldn't be. Maybe we'll get that when they if they make a third game or something, or I guess a fourth game at this point now. But a
Hmm.
third mainline game.
Right.
But yeah, I think like this is an interesting little project that they made. I think it works as well because like we talked about earlier, like they don't really do a whole lot of like spoilery stuff for the first and second games. They kind of like skirt around that stuff
Mm-hmm.
to where like you don't necessarily have to have that knowledge of the first and second game to play this if you wanted to. Like you could just dive right into this and be fine,
Right.
which is a nice thing, especially since it is a lower price game, but you can also get the other two games on sale a lot of the times as
A
well.
lot of the time, yes.
um but it does work. I think it's like a good introduction game to like the way the game works and everything, the investigation mechanics, the Somnium mechanics, and then the escape rooms are fun in and of themselves and everything.
Mm-hmm.
um so yeah, I had a fun time with this. Like we talked about, it was fun to hang out with these characters again, but it just it's just not going to reach the same level as a Nirvana Initiative, which was our game of the year in 2022. But I
It
don't
was
think
incredible.
either of us were going into this game thinking that was going to be the level that this game was going to reach.
No, I didn't expect that. I mean, it was a very good game. I enjoyed it,
Hmm.
but it definitely was not like I didn't go in thinking it was going to reach that level, and it didn't, and that's okay.
Yeah. A-okay.
Mm-hmm. Also, Spike Chunsoft sent my sticker separately from my game for whatever reason,
Very
and also sent
weird.
my game like a week and a half late.
Very weird.
Very, very weird, but I have the Mizuki thumbs up sticker now, which is great.
This is very good. Also, there's a bunch of like alternate endings you can get for this, which are just like little
Yes.
silly, dumb things that if you just do specific things in a specific chapter, you'll just get like a silly ending where they'll talk about Uchikoshi dyeing his hair blonde recently.
Yeah,
This is very funny.
that was really funny.
And there's a couple
Um,
other like bonus stuff as well, like some like alternate like novelization stuff. I haven't gone and dived into that stuff yet.
oh, you have it?
No,
Oh, you should.
I just haven't. I just I beat the game and then now we're here.
Okay, yeah, you definitely should. I like the art style for those because it's like old like pixelated like PC adventure game look to them.
Hmm.
So that was interesting, and they all tie back to like bad ends and things like that, which is interesting.
Yeah, they look. Some of them looked very interesting and silly and dumb, and I was like, I will go and look at these at some point.
Hmm. There's also like little alternate things you can buy with your eyeballs that um what's the name of the town that he always wants to go to, the hot spring?
Oh, but
Aitama?
I think that's right.
Um, there's basically like a whole series of things with him like suggesting Aitama to people, which is also pretty entertaining. Um, like that is pretty peak Date being a weird little goblin man
Hmm.
in those situations. But um, like one of the novels, one of the bad ends is that like if you repeatedly ask Iris's mom on a date at an inappropriate time, she'll like get mad and ends up like taking over the agency. And so one of the novels is actually tied to like what it's like with her like running the agency and how Date's dealing with it and everything and how Boss is dealing with it. So that was really funny. There's also one that's like how Date and Hina actually met because when she first sees him in the like room where you do the syncing, she says something about like, oh, what about that day or that night or something like that. And he's like, um, did I do something? I remember it. She's like, no, 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 never mind. It was a joke. But like the actual story is in there of like how they met, and it's ridiculous. Super ridiculous.
Well, that sounds very dumb and silly.
It really is. It involves a very drunk Date, him accidentally leaving Aiba behind, and them getting stuck in an elevator.
Oh boy.
Oh yeah, you should definitely read it. It's interesting and it makes that line from her make a lot more sense. Again, it feels like a very throwaway line of her like joking around with him, but then you see that and you're like, "Oh, oh, that's why she said it." Okay. So, highly recommend you read those.
I definitely will at some point and like
Yeah.
get all those other alternate endings and all that stuff.
There's also some stuff with like Ryuki in there and like how he's doing as the noob of the group.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, those are definitely fun. I think that they were good added content. Like they're very, very short for the most part, and it's mostly just like silly gags,
Yeah.
but like that's okay.
Well, there you go. Fun
There
goofs.
you go. Hmm.
But I think that's gonna wrap it up for us this week.
Yeah, I mean, I liked it. It's not as good, but I still liked it.
Yes,
That's my takeaway.
I would
I,
agree. The Thunder
yay.
also agrees.
No.
No Thunder. But that's going to do it for us this week. If you'd like more from us, head on over to Checkup.com or sac.cool where you can find past episodes of this podcast and other podcasts like Jared Now Watch. You can also find columns and reviews on the site as well. If you'd like more from Ann Ladium, go to AnnLadium.com. She's got columns and reviews. You can follow us on Twitter and TikTok at Anime Checkup. Follow us on Blue Sky Checkup.com. You can buy our books, One Shiny Moment, Critical Analysis of Love, Life, Sunshine, Hot Tubs, and Pac-Man on Amazon.com. And sports on Patreon, patreon.com/SACOVA. Buy us a slice of pizza, get access to unedited versions of the podcast early. Our monthly exclusive Patreon podcast. We'll have to do another episode of that soon.
Uh,
Which I know you.
Probably when I get back.
When do you get back?
The 24th.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. We still have time to do it before the end of
And
the
also
month.
I'm taking the 25th off, so
Yeah, we'll be fine.
yeah, we'll be good.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I'll get back on the 24th.
we'll do one of those at some point later in the month. Al's pick of
Mm-hmm.
the month.
I already have the
Mm-hmm.
pick ready.
Definitely do.
Yee.
So look forward to that, and there's a bunch of other bonus fun stuff on the Patreon as well.
Mm-hmm.
Next week we'll talk about something else. I don't know. Who knows?
Mm. Mm.